Hello, it's Mantle Enterprises. I know I have been in contact with some of you over email, and I have been telling you about the upcoming release of our newest, latest, and greatest spreadsheet to help you analyze the stock market at the tip of your fingers. And so here it is. We've named it Stock Scope 2.0, and it is probably the most comprehensive spreadsheet I've ever seen for analyzing the full market. And without any further ado, I will get into the specifics of what exactly this is capable of um, and how you can get a hold of this spreadsheet and how it can help you make better trades and analyze the market. So, this first tab, this is the dashboard. So this combines different metrics from the other four tabs that you see down here at the bottom. So we've got the relative strength index. This analyzes the relative strength index right now of the S&P 500 is what I have plugged in for it. As you see here, it'll give you the price of SPY. That's the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Here we've got S&P 500 simple moving average. I've got the 200-day and the 50-day moving average. I have percent deviation from those, so that can tell you, how much above or below the moving averages that index is. I have my news readings, which I will get more in depth on here in a few minutes, but that analyzes the news headline sentiment for the stock market. And here we have the sectors for the sector tab, but that's the percentage that are above the 200-day and 50-day moving averages for each respective sector. And then here's an analysis column just in case you want to make some notes on what you're seeing on this dashboard or in the other tabs so that you don't forget if you see something interesting. And over here we have the volatility table. That tracks the VIX, the volatility index that most people use for indicating volatility in the market. And then here is a logic statement. So if the market was oversold, it would say market is oversold. SPY price is 15% over 200-day moving average. News is overconfident. 100% of sectors are over 200-day moving average. So what this tells me right now is that the market is a little overpriced. The news is overconfident. Everything is above its 200-day moving averages, which, as a long-term trend, can tell you things are highly priced right now. So it may, quick analysis from me, it might help to save up some cash and wait for a better entry point into the market. Over to our next tab, the stock tab. Now, if you've seen my previous videos, I've done a full in-depth discussion about what this is. You've got a lot of columns with 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, tells you if it's under or over those, an intrinsic value analysis, earnings per share, volatility value, beta, price to earnings ratio, 1-year growth, 5-year growth, price to earnings over the growth ratio, over growth rate, which is from One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. For the tripwire, it analyzes columns N, O, P, and two of the ones for the moving average, so columns B and D. So price and the moving averages 200-day, 50-day. So if all these line up, you'll get a green true indicator. And so what that's meant to tell you is that a good company with a good growth rate is also undervalued at this time. And actually, if you go down, I believe we have a few. Yeah, right here, Clorox is currently in that category. Sometimes this can also be a false indicator of, maybe it was growing a lot and now it's down. And then we have earnings yield, and we have compared to the S&P 500. So a lot of these say outperform, and that's based on the 5-year growth rate. So that's looking at more of a long-term trend. Here is the news tab, and so what this does is I have it importing, I think, 100 news headlines with the following tickers. So Apple, Google, Facebook, Virgin Galactic, Tesla, Amazon, S&P 500, QQQ for the NASDAQ, Microsoft, and then some keywords, stocks, markets, gold, oil. And then over here, I have bearish terms, such as, sell, down, fear, negative, and then bullish terms, which is buy, up, gain, long. There's a few more in there. And then so it comes out with a ratio of bullish to bearish terms in the news headlines to give you an idea of what the news is saying in one quick snapshot. If we go to the cyclical tab, I named this the cyclical tab, but really what this is doing for me is this is calculating the relative strength index. So that takes the last 2 weeks of data, price action data, and it adds up all the gains and all the losses, gives you a ratio. Right now the S&P 500 is at 64, so it's actually a little high. It's actually coming up towards 70, which is when you would say it's in overbought territory. 30 is considered oversold territory. And if you need more explanation on that, it helps to do some research on what relative strength index tells you. And then over here, I've got some sample indexes and some stocks that I am watching at this time. And then over here is the sector tab. So this has sectors for literally everything: telecom, retail, oil, mining, consumer discretionary, health, utilities, staples, tech, industry, finance, energy, just to name a few. And then it goes down further into emerging markets, Russell 2000, NASDAQ, S&P 500. I have biotech, innovation. So this can give you a good snapshot. And actually these ARC ETFs are in here as well for the various specific sectors they cover. But this is to help me and you get an idea of where the sectors are individually, kind of like a broad look. So we go back to the dashboard, and like I was saying in the beginning, everything gets filtered into here. And so what this allows me to do is maybe I check this once a day, but I don't have to go digging too much to see where the overall market is at and whether or not I think it's a good time to buy. Now, I will always recommend buying great companies at a fair price, and that might sound a lot like Warren Buffett, and you're right, because it does. I think it's a quote from him. And the other thing is, there's always people saying that, don't try to time the market. And while you're not exactly timing the market with this spreadsheet, you are certainly getting a better idea of when a good time to buy is, and when a good time to either sell or hold cash or other assets other than stocks. So thank you very much. I intend to put this on Sell-Fi as a subscription for the low price of $2 a month. And that is because I will be constantly updating and adding to this to help improve the overall effectiveness of this spreadsheet for you. I've been working on this, developing this, getting feedback from you all, and some of the emails I received have been extremely motivational. One of them was telling me that they made some of their best trades after using my earlier version of this spreadsheet, which is a lot more simple and doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that this has. And I've put a lot of research and development into this. So again, I hope you like it. Please feel free to reach out to mantleenterprises2015 at gmail.com. The link for my Sell-Fi page will be below the video. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all make as much money in the stock market as possible.